you already know what you signed up for. We are going to talk about reflect and re-strategize for 2020. I think it's hard to go into a new year thinking about how we're going to improve our lives if we don't take time to look back and see how things really went this year. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. The objective is for us to get down to business. We're going to reflect on the areas of our lives that had an impact on our ability to succeed in 2019. And you can see here personal growth, spiritual maturity, your finances, mindsets, relationships, and your goals. So the first one up is personal growth. Okay, so personal growth is your development as an individual to achieve your full potential. And that's talking about maturity, identity, and standards. So in the chat, if you feel like you have been struggling to really grow and mature, you feel like you should be further along, or you kind of been struggling a little bit, tell me. You guys can chat, put in the chat box, you know, what's been going on with you. If you've been doing good, growing personally, you've been reading books, trying to improve yourself, or you really haven't thought about it. Let me know what you guys, how it is for you guys. So did you tap into your full potential this year? That's kind of where I want you to start thinking. Like, did you realize that you have a passion for something? Did you realize or discover that you have this new skill? Did you realize that you're capable of something special? Or have you been underestimating yourself? So this year I realized, well, a couple years ago, going into the schools, like the more I've been volunteering and mentoring and coaching girls in the schools, I realized how much more of a passion I have for helping girls not make the same decisions that I made. So I wouldn't have known that unless I've gotten started. So, you know, have you realized something that you are really interested in? Like, I know one of my friends on here, she realized that she loves cooking and she has this crazy ability to cook and share that with people. So she's been tapping into that and really pulling out that potential. Did you do anything differently? Did you start reading any books? Did you get any new friends? Did you listen to any podcasts or develop any new hobbies? Anytime we're trying to grow personally, you have to have some way, you have to be putting new information in. So if you're not listening to podcasts, if you're not listening to books or surrounding yourself with like-minded women, it's going to be really hard for you to get new information in, right? So as far as personal growth is concerned, do you feel like you've been stuck in the same cycles, or do you feel like, you know, you've been growing? As we reflect, like, hey, were people able to manipulate you and make you angry and upset easily, or did you find yourself not being moved by people, you know, as easily as you may have been in the past? Were you stuck in the same cycles? Get up, go to work, come home, pay bills. Get up, go to work, come home, pay bills. I got 8 more years in the Army. This is all I'm doing. This is all I'm looking forward to. Those are the kind of things that you need to be asking yourself. Do you feel like you started moving towards becoming this woman that you really want to become? So that is reflecting about your personal growth. And as we do this, it's up to you to start really thinking about it and thinking about how you want to grow next year, how you want to improve, you want to see yourself in the years to come. Ashley says, I've grew, but I also had some setbacks, new people. I met new people, some for the better and some for the worse, which is a good observation. If you don't look back and think about that, you know, then how do we know to limit and have some boundaries when we start moving forward, right? So you got to think about that when it's concerning your personal growth. All right, so spiritual maturity. Okay, so when we start to think about our spiritual maturity, do you know what you believe? I know for me, faith is a big deal for me. If faith is a big deal for you, just put something in the yes, faith is good for me. That's a part of who I am. For me, it has kind of really helped me to determine who I am as a person. It kind of gives me that foundation of what I'm working towards, finding my purpose in life, you know, developing my standards for myself, how I treat people, how I love people. And that's for me. So you guys have to think, you know, do you really know what you believe? Or are you just somebody that's just going to church every day, like every Sunday, just going through the motions, right? Or are you actually living in line with your belief system? And regardless of what it is, because everyone has that right, are you really living it out? Sometimes we have struggles trying to become who we want to become because we're not even sure who we are at the core of our existence, at the core of our being. Or you became more enlightened, like, hey, you know, I've been stressing about things this entire year, but really God tells me to cast all my cares upon him because he cares for me. You know what I'm saying? So in that case, you know, my spiritual maturity has helped me improve my overall life. But if I'm not thinking about that, then I'm going to stay the same in those areas. So are you maximizing the benefits of your faith? Some people have religions where they do meditation, where it's a very big part of what they believe of their faith, you know? And so they take that time to meditate, and it brings them down, it centers them, and helps them to get focused, right? So my thing here is, if faith is important to you, are you walking it out? Because sometimes when we do things that don't line up with our faith, it makes us feel like hypocrites. It makes us feel fake. It makes us feel like we're not, you know, walking out or being the person that we really know that we're supposed to be. Do I want to be more mature in my faith, in my spiritual walk? The next one is finances, and it is a big deal, right? I said, how are your coins looking, right? So this year, for me personally, me and my family, we kind of stepped our game up with our finances. We tried to do a little bit better. We did a lot better. When we got money, unexpectedly, we put it towards bills. We came up with a strategy to pay off debt. And so that's what I'm asking you right now. Did you pay off debt, or did you splurge? Let me know in the comments this year. How did it go for you? Did you pay off debt, or did you splurge? Let me see the comments. So were you keeping up with people? I know for me, back in the day, younger, you see people with things, you see people buying new things, getting new vehicles and new houses and stuff, and you start to kind of compare yourself. But we have to keep in mind that may not be our situation. And sometimes it can get us down and discourage us. But you know, we have to stay focused on what we're trying to do, because in the moment, you know, it may look good to, like, you know, having those things, and it may feel good, but it may not be what's best for us. Ashley says, I wanted to say I splurge more than paying off debt. And so that's an area that you need to, like, you have to decide in your mind if that's something you're going to work on. Like, am I going to continue to be in debt? Am I going to pay this stuff off and sacrifice, right? Because Christmas is coming up, and this is one of those times where we spend a whole lot of money, and some people spend money that they do not have. Like, I've kind of trained my son to know that, like, you're not, you know, like, oh, you want $5? Well, I act like it's a big deal just giving him $5. And now he's like, you know, he thinks twice before asking me for $5. So I'm kind of programming his mind, right? Not to be all extra needy and stuff. So were you keeping up with other people? Are you doing the job that you want to do? So when it comes to your finances, like, are you in the job that you want to do, or are you simply there because, you know, you have to be? So, you know, are you taking the steps in order to make the money that you need to make? That's what I want you to start thinking about. So, did you pay off debt, or did you make more debt? Give me a 1 in the comments if you paid off debt, and a 2 if you made more debt. Okay, so making good money, just not saving like I want, right? So, and that comes half and half. Okay, so that comes from us just putting our priorities first, right? So, and going forward, like, I think for me, I didn't start really being concerned about my finances or debt or any of that kind of stuff, you know, because I wasn't looking forward. Now I'm thinking, like, okay, I know I want to be here in 20 years, in 10 years. So I know I need to save money and put money aside. But if you're not thinking long-term, or thinking, thinking ahead of thinking about what you want to be doing in the future, then that's going to hinder you. And you're not going to be focused about saving money now, because you're going to be you're going to do what you want to do right now, which is get those Ugg boots that I'm trying to deny myself about. So, and things like that. So are you paying off debt, or did you make more debt? And going forward, even in this Christmas season where it's all about giving money, spending money, and buying gifts, you may need to be the one that brings a $20 gift this year, and not try and go out and spend money that you don't have. And if people can't understand that, then you might need to cut them off. They just have to understand that that's not where you are, and you shouldn't feel bad about that, because you are preparing for your future. So in your finances, did you spend more, or did you save more? Are you where you want to be financially, or do you think you could have done better? Let's keep it moving. So the next one is mindset, right? So as we look back over 2019, what was your thought life? How was your thought life? How did you view yourself, difficult situations, or the people? Did you find yourself looking like this lady in the picture, right? She's really strong, but you can tell by her demeanor, her mindset, that she doesn't feel strong. So did you find yourself, you know, getting down, being weak, blaming other people, or just plain giving up because you know, you didn't believe in yourself. Did you find yourself being the victim, or, you know, people always do this to me, I can never get ahead, or it's people always treat me badly? Or are you putting yourself in situations where people are allowed to treat you certain ways? You know, what was your mindset? You know, I can do anything, there's no way I'm making it out of this. How do you talk to yourself is the big thing when it comes to mindset. An easy example is like dieting. You hear some people, there's no way I could give up meat. There's no way I could, you know, go on a diet and not eat this for 20 days or for, you know, 2 months. Mindset, you've already convinced yourself, you know, I'm never gonna get a relationship. I'm never gonna have a spouse. I'm never gonna, you know, get out of this situation. How do you talk to yourself is the big question. Like, do you find yourself being more negative or being more positive when it comes to you know, how you believe in yourself? Do you know that you can? Yes, I can. Like, that's in my mind, that's how I'm thinking these days. But there was a time when I did not believe in myself like that. I didn't think like that. So give me a 1 if you have a mindset of you believe in yourself, or give me a 2 if you're kind of feeling like, you know what, it's a struggle, I'm not sure I'm gonna make it out of this stuff. You know, how are you usually feeling? Like, are you mostly positive, or do you find yourself being on the negative side of things a little bit more often? And okay, 1, believing in yourself. Okay, same here, but it doesn't always happen like that. So right, so some people, it doesn't always work like that. I'm not, you know, on the positive. And sometimes we're not always believing in ourselves because of our past, because maybe, you know, we are not doing the things that we know that we could be doing. We may be procrastinating, you know. And when we do that, you know, it just brings more and more pressure on us to be this person that it seems like it's so hard to be, right? So the key here is thinking about how you talk to yourself. Like, it's always it's always going to be hard, it's always going to be difficult, life is never going to get better. Or, you know, when you find yourself talking to yourself like that, like, you have to change it. Like, you have to change it. No, I am going to get this. I am going to get out of debt. I am going to become a better person. I am going to be a more calm person. I'm not going to be stressing out all the time. You literally have to talk to yourself like that, because if not, those small things that you say, you're programming your mind, you're programming your body to react a certain way. I'm popping off today. I'm popping off today. If somebody say one word to me, I'm popping off. You already programmed yourself to pop off, right? So as soon as you get to work, that one person that you know you don't like, they come and they say one thing to you, and there it is. You know what? You got it. You spoke it into existence. It's so true, right? So, and you have to do that. You have to start speaking it into existence so you can reprogram your mind. Like, if you are always having negative thoughts, switch them up. When you find yourself thinking negative things, change it around. Even if you don't believe it yet, change it around and start saying it. And then you'll automatically start to do it on your own without even thinking about it. You'll start to reprogram your mind and start to believe in yourself a little bit more. So 2019 mindset might have been a little negative. If it was positive, then whoop whoop for you. You keep doing the same thing and figure out how you can make it even better, right? And if it was negative for you, you got to make up in your mind and determine that this year things are going to be better for me. I'm going to be more positive, and I'm just going to make things happen a little bit differently. Big one, relationships. All right, so we have one more to go after this one. So relationships, ladies, who are you connected to? This is a big thing for me, and I didn't realize how important it was until, you know, I started surrounding myself with more positive people. You know, do you find yourself needing to be accepted, or are you okay by yourself? Do you have some toxic friendships? But do you have friendships where people encourage you to turn up more than they encourage you to level up? So that's the thing I want you to think about. You know, what is this friendship? What am I really getting out of this friendship? Am I giving more than I'm receiving? Is it unbalanced? Is it equal? And if it's not, you have to figure out, how can I maybe limit my time or the access that I give these people in my life, because it can be draining. It can really be draining. Give me a 1 if you feel like you have if you know there's at least one toxic friendship that you have in your life, give me a 1. Or if you feel like you've been doing a pretty good job at maintaining your friendships and keeping positive people around you, then go ahead and drop a 2 in there. If you know, hey, that's something I've worked on. That's something I'm doing pretty good at, keeping positive people in my life. And then another thing you got to think about is, am I the negative person? Woohoo! Am I the person that is the toxic one in the friendship? And if so, how can I change that so that I can be a better friend to the people that I care about and I love in my life, right? Trying to get all 2s. That's right. So, do you have standards for your relationships? That's a big thing. I know that personally, especially like way back in my younger days, some relationships we just hold on to for we hold on like this girl over here, but I love him so much. You hold on for dear life. And I'm not talking about marriages. I'm just talking about relationships. Okay. This is for people that are not married. I'm not telling you to leave your man if if you're married, and because sometimes marriages, we have struggles, and it's just a part of going through the married life. But girl, let me let you in. If you're in a relationship and you're not married to this guy and he is toxic, let him go. Let him go. If it's a toxic relationship. And so if you don't have any standards, if you don't know the standards that you have for yourself, how are you going to know when it's time to let it go? So I want you to think about, what are my standards for my relationships, right? What do I allow? How do I allow people to treat me? How do I allow people to talk to me? What's a no-go and what's a go for me, right? And that's even when it comes to friends. My friends already know certain stuff they don't come to me with. Even my family members know. That's a big one too. Sometimes it sounds harsh, but sometimes you even have to cut family members off. I love you, but I just can't be with you all the time. I can't, allow you to be in my life and impact me and influence me in a negative way. It doesn't mean that you're angry or you're mean or evil. That just means that you're doing what you need to do in order to protect your sanity and surrounding yourself with like-minded women, right? So just think about, question I want you to think, do you have any relationships that it's time to let them go? And if it is, in order for you to succeed and to become this person that you want to be, this better version of yourself, is it time to let it go? Friendships, relationships, is it time to let it go? And then if there are marriages that are struggles and it's seeming pretty toxic, like, let that person know, like, communicate that in a way that's not hostile. Communicate that and let that person know how they're impacting you. And then that's when we start getting deeper into mindsets. Then you'll start to recognize and learn how to protect yourself mentally from people who are toxic. Just like, you can be right here with me and be toxic, and I can zone you out. I cannot be reactive because I've already programmed my mind to not allow you to impact the way I'm feeling and impact my emotions, right? So I want you ladies to think about that. Is it time to let it go? And if you want better friends, you have to become a better quality friend yourself. What do I need to do in order to become this friend that I want to attract? That's what I need you guys thinking about in relationships. And finally, did you accomplish your goals this year? All right, in the chat, I want you ladies to tell me if you accomplished your goals this year. If you accomplished at least one of your goals, put a 1 down there. You're right, Ashley, exactly right. You are what you attract. So if you're attracting good people, positive people in your life, it's probably because they're drawn to that energy. But if you're attracting trash, we got to adjust and we got to analyze and figure out what is going on in me to make that to allow people to be attracted to me. So if you accomplish your things, go ahead and put a 1 in there. If you accomplish some of your goals this year, put a 1 in there. And if so, then sis, you are on the right track. Okay. That is where all of us need to be trying to get this year. Like, okay, I accomplished my goals. If you didn't, or even if you didn't have any goals, put a 3. I didn't really have any because you weren't strategic, and that's okay. That's the whole point of me doing this lesson here right now. If you had none, 3. If you accomplished them, 2. If you didn't accomplish them, 2. And if you did, then you can put a 1 there. Okay, not yet, but almost 2020 is my year. That's right. Okay. So when we start to think about our goals, the thing I want us to so what were they? What were your goals, and what was the reason you wanted to do them? A lot of times we don't accomplish our goals because the reason isn't really we haven't really bought into our reason, right? You have to really be bought in. I keep using because I was vegan for 3 months, y'all, and I have one of my friends on here. She's vegan, but you have to be really bought into what you're doing in order to do that for a lifestyle change, right? So what was the reason you wanted to do it? You got to start thinking back. What happened? Why did you stop trying? What happened? Did you just get caught up in life? As you start to think about this goal that you really want to, starting a business. I know somebody on here wanted to start a business. What prevented you from really getting that business started or stepping out and taking that chance? Could you have done better? Are you going to try again this year? And what does success look like for you if so? So as we go into 2020, I want y'all to drop what one of your goals for 2020 is in the chat box. What is one of your goals for 2020? What is one of your goals for 2020? If you haven't thought about it, then this is the perfect time for you to start thinking about it. So in our next meeting that you can kind of start having some things in mind that you want to start working towards, because that's going to be one of our sessions this month too. It's kind of plan it out. Latoya, get my business up and running. Yes, ma'am. It is going to happen in 2020. I'm going to touch and agree with you for that. That's one of somebody's goal. Paying down my credit card. Yes, paying on your credit card. I'm asking somebody to come in to talk about stuff like that too this month, about finances, because that's a really big thing. So make sure you stay in, Marie. Make sure you stay tuned in for the one about finances that's going to come up one of these weeks in December. But yes, it relieves so much stress. Clear some debt. All other goals I have achieved. Okay. All right. So we're looking like we're knocking some things out and we have some things to work towards. Okay. So all I'm asking you guys to do is, ask yourself, do you really believe in yourself? And if you do, and if you don't, that's okay. You got to start digging a little bit deeper and figuring out, why don't I believe in myself? What is it? Is it because I've seen, my parents or family members in debt for so long, or, not really care about being financially stable, that I haven't really had that passion to really figure out how to become financially stable? Why don't I believe in myself? Is it because I've always seen it done wrong, or, I just don't know what to do? And if I don't know what to do, how do I get the skills and the information that I need? YouTube is one of them. Follow you some people on YouTube, follow you some people on Facebook, join groups and communities to help you figure these things out. And as you do that, you'll start to realize that, man, I really can accomplish my goals. If you guys don't take anything else from this webinar, I want you to believe in yourself. Leave this webinar realizing that regardless of what I went through in 2019, I'm okay. I'm going to get through it. I'm going to adjust fire, and I'm going to make things happen better in 2020. And I'm a firm believer in that. Every week I'm starting something new. I don't care if I failed one week, I'm going to keep trying the next. And you just have to continue to force yourself to believe in yourself. All right. And we're closing this thing out, ladies. So what needs to change next year? Find at least 2 areas you want to improve. And when I'm talking about improving, I want you to think about personally. How do I want to improve personally? How do I want to level up? Do I want to be a less stressful person? Do I want to be a more loving person? Do I want to be a more understanding person? All of these things, do I need to change my mind? Do I want to read more? Do I want to, learn more about how to become a better woman, what a better woman looks like, right? I want you to think about what needs to change personally, because that's what money, things, all that stuff will come. But the biggest thing that's going to give you peace in your mind is how you can change and improve yourself personally. And remember, ladies, that you control the outcome of your life. You are the boss. So as you leave here, just know, regardless of what happened in 2019, hey, 2020 is for you. You have goals, you can achieve them, you can make them happen, but you have to put in work. So with that being said, I hope that this somehow impacted you or made you think a little bit more about how you're going to, take what you've learned, the negative with the positive, and use it to improve in 2020. Keep in mind that I do have a 8-week online group coaching program coming up starting January of 2020, where we're going to be doing things like this once a week. I'll bring in people to talk specifically about mindsets, so many other topics. There's 8 entire topics that we'll be discussing in January to help you improve and become that woman that you really want to become. I want to become a better woman, but I don't know what that means, right? So what do? We figure it out, and then we get after it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate all of you being here. And I will see you ladies in the next meeting sometime. I mean, it'll probably be next Sunday. I'll put that out on my page, so just follow it. And I hope you ladies learned something, or we'll be leaving a little bit more fired up. Good night.